For cheap new games, be sure to hit that G2A link in the description and go and check it out. So hello everybody, how's it going, and welcome back to another video about Assassin's Creed, and today I am going to be giving you a rundown of what order I think the Assassin's Creed games should be in, from worst to best. That is all 9 of the Assassin's Creed games, including Rogue. I made one of these last year. If you want to check it out, I will leave a link in the description, so go and check that out if you want to see what my view was last year. But I have reevaluated this list and realized that it needs to be changed, and also I need to add Assassin's Creed Syndicate in. So we're going to go ahead, and we're going to order the Assassin's Creed games. Let's do this. So, at number 9 on the list, you guys know this one will never change. At least I really fucking hope this never changes, because if there's a worse game than this, then I will actually purposely have children just to snap their necks. But this game, for me, was the worst Assassin's Creed game, and most of the games on this list, when I say they're at the bottom of the list, that doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. It just means they're not as good as some of the other ones, whereas with Unity, nah, it's fucking terrible. This is terrible. That's why it's at the bottom, because it's a piece of fucking garbage. I know a lot of people did enjoy this game. Personally, for me, the story felt dry, the characters felt dry and bland. The game didn't even work on launch, and even after the patches, the stealth in combat is still completely broken. The only thing this game had going for it was the graphics, which is what caused the fucking frame rate to drop in the first place. So honestly, I know I milked the shit out of saying how bad this game is, but it is a bad game. And when I come down to actually talking about it, there's not much good that I can say about this, and that is probably why I milked the shit out of it, because I was so hyped for it, and the disappointment plus the game being complete fucking garbage is probably why it's always going to be at the bottom of my list. And I know so many of you are going to be so mad. Like, on the last video, it happened. I know it did. But guys, this is my fucking opinion. At number 8, we have Assassin's Creed 3. Now, honestly, this game isn't terrible. It's not even a bad game. The gameplay was fantastic, and I loved the brand new gameplay they brought into it. Everything worked great. The combat was sometimes challenging, but also really, really easy to use. The free running and parkour system was fantastic in this game, and I really enjoyed the way that the gameplay worked. However, the thing I didn't like about this game was the way that the story felt more like an American Revolution game with assassins in it, as opposed to an Assassin's Creed game. Now, it's difficult to explain that, and I know I've talked about it a lot on Kill Connor Club, but Connor, for me, is a boring-ass character. Literally has no emotion, and I know you guys are probably like, well, that's the point, he's a cold-blooded killer, but regardless if that's the point or not, it's still boring. Like, even if he's meant to be boring, I don't want it. Like, I don't want that. Like, that may be the intention. I'm not saying it was an accident, but it's still not good. Plus, the story for me was extremely boring as well, and the only good thing about Assassin's Creed 3 personally was all of the gameplay. The gameplay is what worked well, and some people might argue that makes the game fantastic, but the story and characters definitely put me off this game. And for me, the best character was fucking Haytham. And you're not meant to have the best character in a video game be the antagonist. So honestly, you can say what you want about Assassin's Creed 3, but it will always be 8 on my list for now, anyways, unless we get something that rivals Unity. At number 7, for a bit of a change, we've got Assassin's Creed Rogue. So this game has slid down the list mostly because I've had a chance to reevaluate and think, right, was that my initial reaction of being like, oh yeah, this game's really cool, so I'll put it really high on the list? And I have to say it probably was. Assassin's Creed Rogue, whereas it's a fantastic game, I really, really love Rogue, but there are a lot of games that are better than it, and I don't think it deserved to be as high on the list as it was, especially above Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I don't know what that was, but honestly, Assassin's Creed Rogue is a really, really good Assassin's Creed game with a fantastic story. I liked Shay, didn't have a problem with Shay. He wasn't my favorite character, but I didn't have a problem with him. The gameplay was the same as AC4, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it, which is something Assassin's Creed loves to do, but with Rogue, they didn't do this, and they kept the same great gameplay. People would argue that it's a reskinned AC4, but honestly, it doesn't bother me. It was potentially a side game that was only released to satisfy people who hadn't bought a next-gen console yet, and for me, Assassin's Creed Rogue served its purpose of being a good little side game. Even though it is part of the main series, Assassin's Creed Rogue will always have a special little place in my heart, because it's a really, really nice game. At number 6, we have Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So this game was a great game. It was a great Assassin's Creed game. It was a great game. It was fantastic. They did a lot of things right. There are small little things that they didn't get right, but they made a fantastic living, breathing city. They made 2 characters, Jacob and Evie, that I loved and cared about. They were fantastic and some of the best characters since Ezio and Edward. and I think they did a really, really good job with Jacob and Evie. The Templars were well designed. Starrick was a fantastic villain, and he was probably one of the best villains since probably Rodrigo Borgia or even Cesare Borgia. So I think that's fantastic that they managed to do that. The side activities were fun. Didn't really get that repetitive because you had taken over the boroughs, you also had the heist missions, and you had the London stories, which were with famous historical figures, and those were fantastic to have in the game. The combat was nice, the stealth worked, the story flowed really well, and the customization wasn't too heavy like Assassin's Creed Unity. The only thing I think it could have possibly done better was having like slightly bit more customization, and I feel like the only thing that drags Syndicate down is the fact that it's still stuck in that same kind of storyline that Unity and AC4 started, and Syndicate's trying to break free of that, but it's finding it very difficult, and because it's still very linked to those games, it's finding it difficult to break out of that. But Assassin's Creed Syndicate was a brilliant game, and that's why it's where it is on the list, because I think Syndicate was a fantastic Assassin's Creed game. At number 5 on the list, we have Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Now, this game is an amazing game, and I always say this, and it's not an amazing Assassin's Creed game, but it is a fantastic pirate game, and that's why I've put it above Syndicate, just simply because of how fun it is. And I think when I rated it last time, I was like, well, it's not to do with Assassin's Creed, so I'll put it really low on the list. But when I think about it, it's an Assassin's Creed game, and I really enjoyed it. So there we go, that's why it's number 5 on the list. And honestly, I think Assassin's Creed 4, I wouldn't change anything about it. I mean, they could have obviously improved the Assassin storyline, given it, rather than making an entire game about Edward's origin, you could have made that into the beginning and then had the rest of him being an assassin who sailed on the sea and all that shit. But I don't care. I don't want to change it. AC4 was fantastic, and Ashraf Ismail, the creative director, did a fantastic job with that. And if he is working on the next Assassin's Creed game, if it be Assassin's Creed Empire, then I think it'll be a fantastic innovation, because to me, Assassin's Creed 4 is the only Assassin's Creed game that tried to innovate, and it actually paid off. So at number 4 on the list, we've got Assassin's Creed 1. This game is the one that started it all off. Altair is a fantastic cold-blooded killer. He's an amazing assassin, and honestly, this game is the thing that started my love for the Assassin's Creed franchise. Having Altair, having those amazing cities, exploring the Third Crusade, it was something new and something amazing, and Assassin's Creed for me will always be one of my favorites, and I'm always going to be able to go back to it and play it. Honestly, I fucking love Assassin's Creed 1, and there's nothing I would change about it, simply because of the memories. If it came out now, maybe it would be an awful game if it came out now, but you've got to remember that it came out in 2007. That is almost 10 years ago, and I love Assassin's Creed 1. I love Assassin's Creed 1, and that is why I've got it at number 4. So at number 3, we've got Assassin's Creed Revelations, which was the final chapter to Ezio Auditore's life. Went to explore Constantinople, find about the secrets left behind by Altair ibn Ahad, and it was a fantastic closing to Ezio's story. The reason it's number 3 is simply because I feel that the Ezio trilogy, as it went along, instead of getting better, I don't want to say it got worse, because all of the Ezio trilogy is perfect, but the ones before it were always better, if that makes sense. But Assassin's Creed Revelations had a fantastic story, fantastic character Ezio Auditore, and the gameplay was extremely fun. Now, it was very lacking in side quests compared to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, but it made up for that with the intense story, which Assassin's Creed Brotherhood potentially lacked for me. And honestly, Revelations is one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games. I always love going back and playing it, the same with any game from the Ezio trilogy, but Revelations is number 3. So number 2, we've got Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. This game is such a fantastic game. Now, it's always a tie-up for me between Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood for number 1, because they both do fantastic things, and to me, they're two of the best games ever made. And I think they did, in Brotherhood, a great job of continuing Ezio's story into a second game, but adding in plenty of new gameplay. So Assassin's Creed 2 didn't have that many side activities or anything like that, whereas Brotherhood, you could rebuild Rome, you could do assassination contracts, you could get your assassins, level them up, send them out on little missions around Europe, you could do Templar agent missions where you'd have specific assassinations were unique missions, you had the tombs returning from Assassin's Creed 2, and I think those things were amazing, plus the modern day, which was outstanding in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. However, for me, the only thing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is lacking is potentially Ezio's story. So Ezio's story for me was way more developed and way better in Assassin's Creed 2. It spanned 30 years of Ezio's life, whereas in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, it was only around something like 5 to 10 years of his life, and I feel like a lot of it was quite filler, not that really important, but regardless of that, it's a fantastic game, and that is why it's number 2 on my list. So at number 1, you guys all fucking know what number 1 is going to be. Obviously, I'm being generic here, Assassin's Creed 2, but why is it that Assassin's Creed 2 is the generic number 1? Because it's the best. That is why. Ezio Auditore's introduction, we had a fantastic story spanning 30 years of a main character's life. We had the development of Desmond Miles, all of these fantastic gameplay elements brought into the game. We had factions you could hire, we had underground tombs that you could get rewards from in the form of Altair's armor. None of these things were in Assassin's Creed 1, and they were all introduced in 82 and made it this fantastic game that was critically acclaimed, and Assassin's Creed 2 for me is always going to be the best Assassin's Creed game. I don't think there's a chance that there'll be an Assassin's Creed game to beat it for me and get up higher on the list. Honestly, if it ever happens, I will be completely amazed, and Ubisoft are going to have to bring out an extremely polished, amazing game to beat my love for Assassin's Creed 2, because this game, for me, is honestly one of the best games I've ever played, and I think a lot of people definitely agree with me. So thank you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to smack that like button, because that'd be absolutely amazing. Comment down in the comment section below, let me know what you guys think of this list, and let me know what list you guys would have for your top 9 Assassin's Creed games. Be sure to subscribe for the newest Assassin's Creed content, trying to hit 30,000 subscribers this year, so if you guys can help out, that'd be fantastic. All important links are in the description. Don't forget to contact me if you want to talk to me about anything. My business email is in the description, plus my Twitter and Facebook, where you can contact me through if you want to talk to me about anything. So obviously more Assassin's Creed content coming in the future. Check out the live streams, all that stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
Leaping from my places, rivers are flowing red. Now we're defying, now we're uniting. Go watching from the skies, these streets are burning up. They're starting fights here, I'm gonna take it to them all.